Well, I'm here with Deslin Naidoo. He's with Alexander Forbes, and I've been wanting to actually talk to the people at Alexander Forbes about Edward Kisweta. He's an extraordinary human being, having come from SARS, where he worked with Pravin Gordon, going into the corporate sector, taking your company onto the stock market. And he comes across as a man who wants to disrupt, who wants to change, who wants to make things differently. Is that an accurate insight?
Very much so. I think Edward's a CEO that's different from the mold. He tends to be looking at problems from a very alternate way. He sees the industry, specifically financial services industry, sitting at some kind of cusp where disruption is going to come through. He's actually set up programs within Alexander Forbes to look at innovation, look at disruptive innovation. And at this point in time, he's actually selecting a team within Alexander Forbes to focus on disruptive innovation.
How would that be? What kind of areas?
Well, that hasn't been formulated right now. What we do have within Alexander Forbes is a research and product development team, which sort of straddles across Alexander Forbes, and we tend to look at the thought leadership elements. How's the industry going to change? And Cabot Alitzazo, who you've interviewed earlier, is looking at the problem from a total individual solution.
How's it going to change the financial advisor's life or the asset manager's life?
Well, these tools have highlighted that risk factors, let me take a step back. These tools have highlighted that risk can actually be measured and risk can be decomposed into risk factors. So by knowing that and being able to predict risk in a very tangible manner, you realize that you can change the way you look at your solutions and the way you manage return. So if you look at what return is, why would return be different from any benchmark? It's because you do something different. You're doing three things that's different. A, you're buying securities differently from the index. B, you're buying things that are not in an index. Or C, you're doing some kind of trading or timing strategy. Now this means risk. So the amount of variation that you take constitutes the amount of return you're going to get. So previously we measured this as some kind of range. So don't go more than 5% overweight in equities, and then you rebalance and all of these things. Now you realize, no, wait a minute. When we invest, we are being exposed to these risk factors, and you have a risk budget, and you only should be rebalancing when you move out of the risk side. So now that asset consultants and advisors can start building solutions along this basis, it requires your asset manager to be more cognizant of how he builds his portfolio. Previously, stock selection was the biggest driver of the portfolio construction, of the portfolio. Now it's going to be portfolio construction.
Risk. Well, that's the new world, and that's Deslin Naidoo.